1 week from this film, we'll already know what happened in the first round of the NFL draft. It's here, people, which means your rookie draft is also about to be here. Some of you psychos like to do your rookie drafts like the day after the NFL draft happens. Like, listen, some of your friends, some of the people in your leagues have wives and kids and are in happy relationships. Fuck them. But give them some time. Give them some time to research, give it a week, 2 weeks till your rookie draft happens. For those of y'all that aren't psychos and do that, this video is for y'all. These are my 5 must draft players in your rookie drafts, right? If you're sprinkled with second, third, fourth round rookie picks, you are in for a fucking featured film today, okay? Because we're going my 5 must draft players. These guys are all going to be outside of the first round. I don't need to tell you to fucking draft Breece Hall or Malik Willis or those guys going at the top of the draft. So everyone in this video is going in the second, third, fourth round of rookie drafts right now. ADP according to keeptradecut.com, a fantastic free resource for y'all to use. So on that note, for the NFL draft, we will be doing a live stream for all 3 nights, both the first round, the second and third round on Friday night, and then on Saturday, all day as well. We got everybody in the office. We're going to be live streaming from here. We got Ike on the production, on the 1s and 2s. We'll be calling people in to hang out with us during the stream. We even got Noah Hills, no more parties. We're flying him out to New York City. Let the southern boy, the country, I don't know why I said southern, he's not from the south, but the country boys from Idaho or some shit in the middle of the country, come experience the Big Apple, baby. So it's going to be electric. Make sure you fucking set your calendar, write it in Sharpie on your mother's forehead or some shit to let you know that it's happening. And I want y'all to join us. We're going to be doing giveaways and games and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, 5 must-draft players in your rookie drafts this year. As you could tell by my energy, I am motivated, but we are not yet tucked in. Tuck. Stop yelling. Now let's see. What's crack, big dog? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the headquarters. My name is Nicholas. This is BDGE, Big Dogs Gotta Eat. And we're about to jump into our 5 must-draft players in your rookie drafts. Now, again, this ADP is all from keeptradecut.com. We will be putting the link in the description. It's a cool little website where they, you go on, and every page you go on, you have to either keep, trade, or cut somebody in a Dynasty league, and then they, move around their rankings and their ADPs based on that. So it's pretty fucking cool outsourced type of witchcraft technology they got going out there, all right? They're living in 2037. Sam Howell, the UNC quarterback, is basically living in 2037. If 203, 2037. He's going right now 17th overall, QB5, and this is Superflex ADP, okay? QB5, 17 overall at the 205. As long as his name isn't Carson Strong, I am happy taking any of the top quarterbacks that falls the latest in the rookie drafts, okay? Whether it's Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Matt Corral, Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell. Sam Howell has gotten easily the least amount of hype out of all 5 of these top quarterbacks. And now the fact he's falling to the 205 is outrageous. I would also argue Sam Howell has as much upside as, anyone in this class outside of Malik Willis. This kid literally just ran for over 800 yards and 11 touchdowns, all right? The narrative here about Sam Howell is tired already. Everyone knows 2020, he had a great throwing season, threw for a lot of yards, threw for a lot of touchdowns. All the stats were there to back it up. He's top 5 in the NCAA in basically every passing statistical category. Then he loses Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, De'Ami Brown, Des Newsome. I'm like robotic at this point hearing this narrative and saying the narrative. Then the passing numbers fall off in 2021. However, he puts it on Sam Howell fucking walks into the locker room like that in 2021. He's, I don't give a fuck that Javonte Williams is in the NFL, in the league, getting paychecks right now. Instead of turning up the dial in the passing game, he rushes for 828 yards. That is some really capable type shit, all right? I personally love to see that versatility. I love to see, that tells me he's got some fucking dog in him, some real fight in him, when he's like, we cannot succeed the same way that we did last year, and instead of trying to force it, I am going to look at other ways in which my game can adapt to what's happening on the field. There are very few quarterbacks in college ever that have rushed for 800 yards in a single season, all right? And maybe Sam Howell is a good passer. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's a bad passer. I don't know, but I can tell you for certain that these other guys, Kenny Pickett and Matt Corral and Desmond Ridder, are certainly not head over heels, fucking head over shoulders, that's like a dandruff company. They're not fucking dandruffed up that much better than Sam Howell. They are not in a whole nother tier than Sam Howell. There's no reason some of these guys should be taken at the 106, the 107, Sam Howell at the 205. Makes no sense, all right? I get that we want to hype and buzz and get these guys going, the guys that we like at the top of the class, but to start elongating this tier and stretching it out like a rubber band, guess what happens when you stretch rubber band out too far? It fucking snaps. And that's what's happening right now with this ADP. Sam Howell at the 205, criminal. We're going to have to see what happens in the NFL draft. Of course, it's going to dictate where he goes. If he drops to like round 3, it gets way less intriguing. But I don't think he's going to drop that far. If you look on BetUS right now, they have Sam Howell as minus 125 to go in the first 32 picks of the NFL draft. Minus 125, which means he's actually expected to go in the first round. If Sam Howell gets first round draft capital, there ain't no fucking way I'm letting him pass me by at the 205 in my rookie draft. Also, on BetUS, if you go on to BetUS and you deposit $100 using the promo code BDGE, you're going to get $100 on top of that. Link down below. Next player up on this list, Rachaad White, Arizona State, running back. Currently the 18th pick, so he's one spot behind Sam Howell at the 206. He's the running back 4 in this class. So as you can see, the way this class is made up, very tier-based, right? You have Breece Hall, and I'd almost say Breece Hall, tier. Kenneth Walker, tier. Or tier gap, I should say. Tier gap. Isaiah Spiller, tier gap. Fucking Rachaad White, because all those running backs are going 4, 5, 6 spots apart from each other. So it's very, very interesting how the tiers are starting to take shape. Now, Rachaad White's a guy I've been fucking clamoring about. I've been yelling about. I tell you guys not to yell. Couldn't help myself when it comes to Rachaad White. We now have all the information at hand when it comes to White, and this dude don't miss, right? That SpongeBob meme, I felt like he was making that for Rachaad White, because when I started the evaluation on him, I was like, this kid is fun. He's exciting. He's explosive. He's a really good pass catcher. He's got a lot of raw tools that we can make work for us. And as the process went on and on and on, and he dominated at the Senior Bowl, and he went to the Combine and absolutely blew that shit away, came in 6 foot, 214 pounds, ran a sub 4.540, which puts him in, I don't want to say elite, but very, very, very high level athleticism. The burst score is very, very high level as well. And you look at a kid who caught, 43 passes last year. He has 2 years of real college running back experience, right? In the first year when he transferred over to Arizona State from JUCO, didn't get a lot of play time. He was in a committee, showed off really well. 42 rushing attempts in 2020, 10 yards per carry. Let's get this kid a little bit more involved. The next year, 182 attempts, 1,000 rushing yards, 15 rushing touchdowns, catches 43 passes. And these are not just volume passes, because he averages 10.6 yards per reception on those 43 receptions. A lot of times in college, it's a little bit tough to get a real feel about how good a pass catcher is in college. A lot of the times it has to do with the system that they're in. One of the key indicators for me, I know it's a very raw statistic, but like the yards per reception is something that I typically look for, because that tells me whether or not you're making plays with the ball in your hand, whether or not this is, a lot of guys can go and catch the ball and catch 43 passes, but average 6 yards per reception. We've seen a lot of guys in this class do that. 10.3 yards per reception after seeing the amount of volume is big time. So Rachaad White was a producer at college. He is shifty. He is elusive. He is a pass catcher. He's 6 foot, 214 pounds. He's like Tony Pollard. He's like Lamar Miller was a comp I had for him. Rachaad White is personally still needing to see what happens in the draft between him and Isaiah Spiller. I personally still have Isaiah Spiller as my RB3 right now and Rachaad White as my 4. Can't argue against anyone having Rachaad White up as the 3. Don't know what the draft capital is going to be like for him, but right now, in the middle of the second round is a beautiful, beautiful spot in which I will not let Rachaad White pass me by at the 18th pick. We drop back almost a full round to Dameon Pierce, the Florida running back. And this is someone I could say for certain is going to be so much better as a pro player than he was at the college level. And you don't see that for a lot of players. Right now, Dameon Pierce is the 27th pick off the board, RB8. So he's going 303. If you have those early third round picks, they are kind of golden this year. I love the way that the rookie draft is shaping up in terms of owning a lot of those middle round, late second, early third round picks. You get a lot of high upside guys, in my opinion, that have a lot of questionable profile parts of their profile coming out of college. But Dameon Pierce is a guy that really, really, really intrigues me. The volume just wasn't there when he was at Florida. Okay, so he played there for 4 years, 2018 to 2021. Never saw more than 106 carries in a season. Never caught more than 19 passes in a season. And this was one of those guys that almost wrote off immediately. Seeing that, I'm like, okay, this dude never had more than 106 carries in a year. Why would I ever project him to be a workhorse or a high volume player at the next level? And I don't necessarily project him to be that at the next level, but he can certainly be wildly efficient on few touches, because that's exactly what he did in college. And then he comes in 5'9", 220 pounds. So everyone at the Senior Bowl said he and Rachaad White were the top 2 running backs there. So he comes in and performs, relative to the other players in this class that went to also, SEC schools and good schools, dominates that competition. 5'9", 220 tells me that, if he does need to be a workhorse at the next level, he could do it. When we start to break down the actual efficiency here on a per touch basis, I'm going to rattle through some random deeper dive analytical numbers right now. Number 11 in the NCAA in yards per route run. Breakaway runs, tied for top 33. Number 2 overall in missed tackles forced rate. 37.8% of the time he touched the ball, he forced a missed tackle. Number 2 in the entire country. You know who number 1 was? Bijan Robinson. If you've heard anything about college football, about anything, then you know who Bijan Robinson is. He is the 101 next year in Superflex. Actually, we'll see the quarterback situation, but he's the RB1 next year. Dameon Pierce, number 2 in the NCAA in missed tackles force rate behind him. Didn't have a single fumble or a single drop pass last year. Top 15 in pass blocking grade, which is also super intriguing because he's a guy that's probably going to get on the field as a third down back immediately. Number 4 overall graded route runner at the running back position per Sports Info Solution. Number 1 overall graded runner. Okay, this is not rushing yards. This is not yards created. This is just the subjective grades they give to runners. You know how people cite like PFF, the number 1 overall passing grade per PFF. Sports Info Solutions is a deep analytical company that looks at every single play, grades them out. Dameon Pierce, number 1 overall graded runner. 16 touchdowns on 119 total touches this year. And that's 1 touchdown every 7.4 touches. There's just almost no blemishes on this kid's profile when you look at it on a per touch basis. Would I have liked to have seen him have more of a workload? Of course. But if Dameon Pierce did this type of efficiency on 300 touches, he would be arguably the 101 or the 102 right now. He's not the most athletic back. He came in as a very average back. But when I look at Dameon Pierce, I see like Clyde Edwards-Helaire meets Mike Davis meets Mark Ingram. Okay, so that's the kind of guy I'm looking. None of those guys are overly athletic, but all those guys can very, very, very efficiently contribute on all 3 downs. They're like low to the ground where they could be powerful, but they're also super shifty. That's the kind of comp I see for him. So 5'9", 220 again, got the size, really efficient. Like, go watch Dameon Pierce. He's a very, very fun player to watch. So I love him, and he will not be getting past me at the 303 if he's sitting there in my rookie drafts. Number 4, we got a wide receiver. But before we go into the wide receiver of Southern Alabama, I got to talk to y'all about Felix Gray because I love Felix Gray, and I love the running back I just talked about. I love the wide receiver I'm about to talk about, so we're just going to talk about a lot of shit that I love. Told you, I'm fucking motivated today. Felix Gray are blue light blocking glasses. For those of y'all that need prescription, they have both prescription and blue light together, sewn in, right? Like Clyde Edwards-Helaire meets Mike Davis meets Mark Ingram. Felix Gray meets blue light meets prescription meets fucking style. This shit is luxury, but it's 15% off, so you're not paying a luxury price. If you use promo code BDGE15, you're getting 15% off your Felix Grays. If you're looking at screens all day, if you're watching our TikTok at BDGE _, you're scrolling at night, you're going to get shitty sleep. It takes you a while to get into your deep REM sleep if your eyes are looking at light before you go, because it's telling your body, hey, Nick is still awake. There is light going around. It is sun out. There is sun out. There is light out. Stay awake for a little bit longer. Though even if you fall asleep right afterwards, you still don't hit that deep sleep until later. It's called latency, right? We're analytical when it comes to the fucking football. We're analytical when it comes to sleep as well, all right? We need our sleep, as you could tell. I got great fucking sleep last night, thanks to Felix Gray. Blue light blockers, go get them. Felix Gray, getfelixgray.com/BDGE. The link will be down below. Use promo code BDGE, 15 for 15% off. Mr. Jalen Tolbert out of South Alabama. Currently the 31st pick off the board, wide receiver 14. Criminal. Some of the pieces of shit that you got ranked above Jalen Tolbert. You know what? I don't say it often enough. You know how it's like when people have bad relationships with their parents because their parents like don't tell them that they love them enough or whatever? I don't call y'all pieces of shit enough. I need to humble you because Jalen Tolbert at wide receiver 14 at 307, man, that's big piece of shit energy from y'all, okay? Jalen Tolbert is probably the wide receiver I will own most of once my rookie drafts finish. I thought he was going to be a little bit bigger, I'm going to be honest with you. He came in at 6'1", about 195, which is plenty of size for the NFL, right? He's not like 5'9", 170 or anything like that. I just was watching him play, and he looked like a really like muscular dude. As you can see, I'm like shrinking, honestly, by the day. If you're skinny, don't wear oversized shirts like me. It makes you look very questionable. in terms of whether or not you're actually even alive. Jalen Tolbert, 6'1", 195. So it's not a size concern. When I started watching him play, I was like, oh, he's built, he's muscular, he's like an outside possession wide receiver guy, and I still very much believe that his style of play is that. He's very good with the ball in his hands. He's a hands catcher. He has very, very strong hands. He's just good. He's a possession receiver. The comp for him is Adam Thielen, where, you don't really specify any specific thing where you're like, wow, that dude is deep speed is incredible. He's an amazing, long pass catcher. He's wildly elusive. None of that. He's got the goods in every aspect of the game. Very strong hands, very good possession receiver, very good route runner. He has enough breakaway juice where he came in and ran a 4.49, so that puts him a little bit above. He's basically an above average athlete across the board, okay? Nothing like crazy athletic, but a very, very solid athlete across the board. He's just a wholesome-ass wide receiver. That's the way I look at him. Like, Jalen Tolbert could be a high-end wide receiver, too, for an NFL franchise for a long time. In the same way that Adam Thielen could absolutely operate as the wide receiver one in an offense if needed. But a team would probably be a Super Bowl contender if you had him operating as a high-end wide receiver too, and you just let Stephon Diggs alpha that shit up. Yeah, so I just love Jalen Tolbert. Go watch some film on Tolbert. You'll see really quickly what I mean by him just being a really good all-around, wholesome-ass possession wide receiver. And my 5th must-draft player in rookie drafts this year, before I announce it, I want to know who you got. Who do you have that's not on this list that you will not be leaving rookie drafts without? And y'all are going to be like, Tyler Goodson. Fuck Tyler Goodson, bro. Drop it in the comment section below. Who is the number 5 player on this list that you will not be leaving your rookie drafts without? While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, if, whatever, do all that fucking bullshit. Number 5 on my must-draft player list for rookie drafts in 2022 is Pierre Strong Jr. I don't know what that was. I tried to do it junior with my hands. Realized real quickly that the J is easy as the R. Not so fucking. Pierre Strong Jr. out of South Dakota State. Currently 34th overall, RB11 to 310. Okay. You're getting Pierre Strong at the back end of the 3rd round is just fucking egregious on, it's more just straight up more piece of shit energy from you guys. Okay. Pierre Strong is a guy who started getting a lot of hype towards the NFL draft process, or as the draft process went on, which is a natural occurrence when you go to a fucking school like South Dakota State. I look at Pierre Strong as like a mix of Elijah Mitchell and Raheem Mostert. I see more Mostert. He's a guy that uses his speed and his explosiveness to create really big plays on the ground. Okay, in the same way that Raheem Mostert operates, he's not great in between the tackles, but you give him an outside lane and them motherfuckers out. That's how I look at Pierre Strong. The majority of his runs came on off-tackle runs. 2021 stat line: 240 carries, 1,673 rushing yards, 18 rushing touchdowns, 22 catches, 150 yards. So we're talking about over 1,800 yards from scrimmage. He was a redshirt freshman, so he is at the not-so-ripe age of 23, but this is an end of 3rd, early 4th round pick. I don't give a fuck about age. As a pure runner, when we look at his rushing grade per PFF, finished with the 6th highest rushing grade, sandwiched in between Zach Charbonnet, Bijan Robinson, Kennedy Brooks, and Kenneth Walker. 6th highest in the entire NCAA. 19.7% of Pierre Strong's runs went for 10 or more yards, 16th in the NCAA. 12.6% of his runs went for 15 or more yards, 9th in the NCAA. His 30 runs of 15-plus yards tied Kenneth Walker as the country's leader. Then, we have the film on him. We have the college production. We're waiting for him to compete at the combine. This dude comes in 5'11", 207. So 207 is not overly big, but it's bigger than what you would expect a guy with this type of explosion and speed to weigh in at. The guy runs at fucking 4.37. A 4.37 at 207 pounds. We might be onto something here. I really hope he gets into a system at the next level like Kyle Shanahan's, where you're giving him that 12-plus touch treatment and you're using him in the right way. Off tackle, in open space. Let him explode. He's not going to be the inside runner that Elijah Mitchell is, but he can be the outside runner that Raheem Mostert is with a 4.37 fucking 40-yard dash, okay? Pierre Strong is number 5, and that's my list. I'll hit you with some honorable mentions real quick, though. Real quick, because I know nobody got fucking time for this, myself included. These are guys that are going 4th round or later. Tyler Batty, I like him running back out of Missouri. He's a little too undersized for me to buy into him as anything more than like a volatile week-to-week play at the next level, but he's exciting. Maybe in the right role, he could do a little something. Kevin Harris right now is definitely worth drafting at his current ADP of 40. That feels a little bit crazy given his size, speed combination, and success, in the SEC as a sophomore. I still personally love Kennedy Brooks. He's going at 45, the Oklahoma running back. Super, super fucking elusive. Reminds me of, that Dameon Harris type of mold where it's not overly elusive, but like at the end of the day, the numbers are like, whoa, he was number 4 in fucking missed tackles force or whatever. And you're like, damn, that's Kennedy Brooks for you. And then two late round tight ends that I really like that are going bike to bike here at 46 and 47 are Jelani Woods out of Virginia. He's an absolute just like tree trunk of a man. 6'7", 252, ran a 4.61. If you go to his player profiler page, his athleticism across the board is quite terrifying. I might be Jelani Woods for Halloween next year, honestly. I'm trying to really fucking scare the kids. And we have Jeremy Ruckert from Ohio State. I like both of those guys as tight ends, but, tight ends fucking are terrible. None of them ever hit, so take that with a grain of salt. Don't draft them probably. But that's my list, okay? So the 5 must-draft players I have from top to bottom. Sam Howell, because he's going at the 205. Rachaad White at the 206. Dameon Pierce at the 303. Jalen Tolbert at the 307. And Pierre Strong at the 310. Let me know what y'all think. And make sure you cop some Felix Grays. Send me a selfie after you grab them. Send me a selfie in bed with your Felix Grays on. And your wife next to you with her Felix Grays on, because you're copping 2 of them. All right? BDGE 15 gets you 15% off. And I will wrap it up here. Don't forget to hit the button that looks like this. Don't forget to put the D in subscribe. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Love you.
Wild.